My name is Charles Leroy Haines III. I share my name with my father and my grandfather, both of whom were doctors, surgeons, and actually my grandmother was also one of the very first female surgeons in the United States. Surf culture is as ambiguous as humans are different. San Onofre, lawyers, doctors, scuzzballs, all the trades, you name it. Movie stars, they're all there, surfing together like brothers. Who cares who you are? And San Onofre, I think, personified that in so many ways. And at some point or another, we were doing sandals and driving home at night, and we were quite often getting into oncoming traffic because the glue at the factory was pretty strong stuff. So we talked again about making skimboards, and it was like slam dunk. Let's just do it. You know, we asked Sparky if we could have half days. He said, "Sure, take it. You know, whatever you want." We were just ecstatic. I went to Crystal Liner in Costa Mesa, got some fiberglass, got some plywood at the lumberyard downtown, went back to his apartment in North Laguna and cut him outside, and then took him inside on his carpeted floor to glass him. If you can imagine, we had paper. The guy downstairs came up within 5 seconds. "Are you trying to kill me?" Sorry. So that first batch went down to Hobie's in Dana Point, and they snapped him up and said, "Come on back whenever you got more." We were off and running in 1976. But you know, I'm eternally grateful that even if it is a struggle, it's probably the best thing a guy could possibly do is make skimboards for kids and have kids thank you, grow up, have their own kids and thank you, and pass that on like that. So I'm extraordinarily lucky. I'm challenged as a businessman, but I'm loving every minute of it. So my mother's grandfather was a sea captain. And a lot of these stories kind of come through her, but he was the chief tester for Matson. So Matson came out with a new boat, he'd go back east to Connecticut and test drive it for him. He told this story about a Duke coming back from the Olympics in Stockholm or something, and he'd won gold medals. And they had to sail all the way through the Panama Canal, and it took months. And he ate dinner every night with all the guests in the captain's cabin. And they pulled into, I'm so emotional, I'm sorry. He pulled into Honolulu Harbor, and the entire town was out there. Everybody on the island was at the shoreline. And the people on the boat are going, "Whoa, it's a holiday? What's going on?" They literally had no idea Duke had won gold medals in Stockholm, because he hadn't even talked about it the entire trip home. They didn't even know. He's that humble a guy, or modest, or whatever you want to call it. Just an extraordinary story. I found that amazing. So a third one's just kind of another fable that's associated with our company. We have a guy named Greg Taylor, one of the founders of the surfing movement, Greg Taylor, and I think of a couple other guys if I can think of their names, but someone brought him a short hollow paddle board. So it's made out of wood, it's this thick. Instead of about 9, 8, 10 feet long, it's only about 6 feet long. I've never seen anyone like it ever in my life. But somebody found it out at the dump back in the 60s and brought it down to the beach and gave it to Greg Taylor and said, "Hey, I thought it was at the dump, thought you might like it." So Greg brings it to us years later when we start Victoria Skimboards. It says, "Can you put some gloss coats on it?" "Sure, no problem." He takes it back home after we gloss it. And this is 15-year gaps here, 10-year gaps anyway. And then one day he goes, "Man, I'm going to try this thing today." And it's a Sunday. No one's down at Victoria Beach at all. It's foggy, it's cold, it's perfect. No one's going to give me any shit about putting this historical thing in the water. And it's really calm. And the reef at Victoria is only about from here to the other side of the library wall. And he starts to paddle. And he paddles like 4 strokes. And he goes, holy shit, this thing's sinking really fast. You can feel the water coming into it and sloshing around, and it's starting to go down. So he sits up on it, and he starts to turn around, and he looks down, and there's a diver right under him with scuba gear on. And the guy's slowly oscillating toward the bottom, upside down. You can look right in his mask. He goes, holy shit, what's the guy? He dives down 4 or 5 times, because the guy's big, and he can't get him up. First one, he gets the weight belt off, Third try gets the tank off, and 4th or 5th, he finally gets him up to the board, and he kind of shoves him up over the board to get him on it. And the guy coughs, and he goes, oh, this guy's alive. Takes him to the shore, kind of drapes him upside down over the bank, and the guy drains and starts breathing, and he's alive, and his wife is screaming her head off hysterically. And of course, it's early in the morning. So Greg goes, well, I'm out of here. I took care of the guy. I'll just wander away. And he did. He wandered off. Didn't think about it till 10, 15 years later. And he's doing his morning walk at Victoria Beach, and it's foggy, and it's Sunday, and it's cold, and no one's down there at all. And then suddenly 5 people come walking down the ramp to Victoria Beach, and one of them's really tall. And he comes over to Greg, and he goes, hey, man, I owe you. A long time I've owed you this, thanks. Back to my father, he's 13 years old. He's in Los Angeles for the Olympics, and he happened to see Duke Kahanamoku compete in swimming. And there are so many stories about Duke, it's just incredible. But he came back out from the locker room with a surfboard under his arm. And he said you could hear the air suck out of the stadium because the people were so blown away by what he had. And my dad took up surfing at that point and started driving back and forth from Altadena to San Onofre, usually in an old car, several hours. And my mom, who was born and raised in Hawaii, happened to be a part of the same club where Duke Kahanamoku did his teaching and surfing. And he would ask her to go out with him regularly. So I get the Hawaiian surfing and the California surfing, and we were a San Onofre family growing up. Spend a lot of dinners down there Saturday nights, surf all day, sleep hard, go back Sunday, sleep some more. But that was our family, which was about as good as you can get.